Hello, everyone. Just getting us. Let's see, one last second here. Trying to stream to Rumble as well for the first time, so I'm just making sure that is all set up correctly. And our guest is here, and he is getting prepped right now. So we'll give people a few minutes to work their way in here. Let's see, is Rumble going? I don't know if anyone does anyone actually watch Rumble? I don't watch Rumble. All right, how's audio sound? Can you guys hear me okay? Rumble is an application, rumble.com. It's kind of like the Republican YouTube. I don't know. I guess that's the best way to say it. Conservative YouTube. All right, cool. All right. So today's guest, this is really interesting. So a lot of you have been around and you've seen me cover other theories. I had Charlie Kirk's theory. I spoke to Audio Freak. I've covered the basically faking your death version of the theory, the exploding mic, the official FBI narrative, and some other alternatives. Now, this gentleman reached out to me, and he has he doesn't have a huge channel, but he has some very interesting videos, and one got like 130,000 views. And I want to say they basically shadow banned him, is the best way to put it. And he sent me the information, and after looking at it, it is very interesting. And he uses engineering and science to back it up. So I'm just going to let him speak his part, and be respectful. If you have questions, we're definitely going to do QA. So just let him talk, let him say what he has to say, and kind of share his theory, and then we'll go from there. Sound good? All right, welcome.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everybody. Thank you, Matthew, for giving me the chance to present my theory. Yeah, my name is Alleges Newdream on the YouTube, and I have found out that Charles Kirk was not shot because I can prove with classical physics that the shot went into the trunk.
So I want to make that very clear. In your theory, you're saying that he was not shot.
He was not shot. The shot was fired from the sniper's nest, 140 yards out, but the shot went into the trunk next to him.
Okay. All right, go ahead and go into it.
How I've made a video on my channel. This is how the video starts. I don't know. Should we? I don't know. Can we even play this here?
I'm not sure if you're going to get audio that way, but I would just kind of share your theory and show some of your data and documents and things, and then we can go into questions. And if people want deeper dive, maybe we can play some of the video.
Yeah, I mean, I can show you the actual table. So essentially, so if you have my screen, the Excel table, this would be it. And these are all the calculations. So essentially what I did is I went on this archive page that most of you know, this archive page here, and I evaluated these videos, all of these videos, and I went for the audio, the ones that had good audio. I analyzed them in Audacity, and then I found out, I determined the crack and thump values, the gap, for example, for the Bartholomew video, that is the famous video by Life is Driving, where he interviews these students on the balcony. I guess most of you have seen that. There, the crack and thump gap is 0.133. And then I just determined what the shot velocity would have been if the shot had gone into the trunk, or it was fired into the trunk. And there you can see my calculations say that this exactly coincides, 0.133 for a shot into the trunk. And for a shot at Charles Kirk, these times don't really coincide. For a shot with 2,700 feet per second, it's 0.15, and the lower you go, at a certain point, it does coincide here for 2,300 roundabout. However, when we evaluate other videos like the video by Reinstein, which is the one that is behind Kirk almost, where he films pretty much at the wall behind Kirk, then it doesn't match anymore, because here a shot with 2,300 feet per second does not match the crack thumb gap. And here we would need 2,700 to halfway match it.
So I just want to have you clarify something really quick. So we have a lot of people
Yes.
that are asking about shot into the trunk. Can you explain what you mean by that?
I think I have, where's it? Kirk intro 2. Let me just find that.
Yep.
I guess
And
this
for those
finds it too
listening,
easy.
You've heard the story of I believe what was it? Not a Dodge Journey. There's some kind of vehicle that was behind there that had the trunk open and then close. And people were saying that maybe the shot came out of that trunk and hit Charlie from behind. So that would be the vehicle that he's speaking about. There you go.
Yeah, this is the intro of my video. And yeah, I guess this is self-explanatory. The shot went into the trunk. I can play it again for those who haven't seen it.
So now you know that the trunk opened and then it closed. So he's saying that the trunk opened, they shot something in the back of the trunk of the vehicle, and then they closed the trunk.
Yes. It's most likely a block of ballistic rubber. Can also, where is that one? Block West trunk. I can show you that. I can show you these clips from my video. So this is what they most likely shot into here. You can buy that stuff for $150 online, is what I found. This is just a block of ballistic rubber. And I think they placed it into the trunk and shot into it, or they just reinforced this interior of the trunk with something, with a material that you also put into bulletproof vests. And this stopped the bullet then.
And now a lot of people have shown videos and images of the back of that trunk, and it looks like there's something in there. There's some kind of cargo or something in the back of that trunk. So that could be plausible. But people are asking, shot from the trunk? No, he's saying shot into the trunk. So
no, it actually, yeah, it more or less falsifies these shot into the trunk theories, because the shot goes into the trunk and it would have hit a potential second shooter that would have been in the trunk. So it actually falsifies these theories.
Yep. So he's saying that the shot came from maybe the same area as Tyler Robinson or another building or somewhere else in the crowd into the trunk, not that it came out of the trunk. That's a very important difference.
Into the trunk, yeah, and it came exactly from that sniper's nest spot. And this, I have to tell you once again that I am a theoretical physicist, and this is 100% certain. This is classical physics. I don't know, for those of you who are not familiar with physics, there is no doubt. There's no doubt at all, because we have what we call audio observations. This is the audio tracks in Audacity that maybe you have also seen, that Audio Freak presented, and I think also John Cullen presented that. Where do I have an example here? What does it look like? Where is it? Audacity.
Yep. So John Clark is asking, so you're saying that the trunk is catching the bullet?
Yes, the trunk is catching the bullet. And I mean, there was no bullet recovered, right? Nowhere. And the big question is, if they want to make us believe that the bullet is inside of Kirk's body. So this is what it looks like in Audacity, just to show you that. And that the bullet is inside of Kirk's body, and I guess nobody really believes that, because at least what they say, a 30-06 would just, as many hunters say, would just rip his neck apart. And I think Brian Harpole again confirmed that there was no exit wound, And it just doesn't make sense because there's a lot of other physiological things that don't make sense. We have, for example, a nervous plexus under that wound spot. This is the plexus brachialis. And he wouldn't have been able to lift his arm the way he did. If most of you remember, after the shot, Kirk just raised his arm like that. He had a microphone in it, and he raised both arms. And in his left arm, he had the microphone. But in that spot, right under that wound spot, there are the nerves that supply the left arm with nerve signals. And if he had been shot in that spot, there's no way he could have lifted his left arm with the microphone right after the shot. So I am pretty sure that he wore some kind of prosthetics that they use in, well, essentially in movies to fake a person dying.
Yep.
Yeah, should we show that clip also? Where is the clip? Or you show the clip?
Yep, so a few quick questions while you're doing that. So people are saying, what would be the purpose of shooting into the trunk?
This is the easiest way to stage it. This is, this is uncanny. Or how should I say this? It doesn't put Kirk into danger because they missed him by 4.5 meters. So the shot, there was no danger for Kirk. And he could act freely, like as if he's dying. He didn't act very well. For example, he also closed his eyes. And, well, if you get shot, you don't close your eyes when you die. You just do more or less the opposite. You open your eyes because of all the pain you feel when you get shot. So this was badly acted. And so the reason why they missed it just by 4.5 meters, or by 15 feet, or by 20 feet is that the actor can act freely. He knows the sniper, the staging sniper, is 100% going to miss the target because the trained sniper will miss the target at, 140 yards out. They will always miss the target with 100% certainty, and he can just act. But to all the spectators, it seems completely realistic. The spectators think a sniper shot from the roof. They hear it. They intuitively know that the shot came from the roof. And for them, it's completely certain, or the illusion is to them realistic. It seems realistic that Kirk actually got shot. So this is the perfect way to fake a person's death. So if you want to pull off something like a psyop, and this is what they did, then this is the best, or this is just the way to do it.
So they're saying, is Charlie alive and well, in your opinion?
Yes, he's alive. I don't think he looks the same way anymore. I think they gave him a facial operation. He got a new identity. I don't think he looks that way anymore.
So permanent witness
he's alive.
protection.
He's alive. He did not. Yeah, similar to that, witness protection program is reserved for, I would say, crown witnesses that actually deliver information. But they gave him something similar, because I think it was staged by the government. They staged it. They had various reasons to do that.
So big question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people saw blood squirt. So where did all that initial blood come from?
It came from a prosthetic. Should I show the prosthetic clip now?
Yes.
Is that okay? Yeah, I mean, you can watch this clip on YouTube. Let's just listen to it.
Let me make sure it's added. There we go. So we're not going to be able to hear audio on this one, but we can.
You cannot hear my audio? Then I show it later.
No, I mean you can just show what they're talking about.
Yeah, they just, so here they we see such a prosthetic for the left shoulder, just like with Charlie Kirk. And they sculpted it, and it looks very realistic. And here we see another
So
prosthetic.
do you want to pause it? You want to pause it?
Pause it, yeah, okay.
On the part with the skin, like take it back to that spot.
This one here, where this actor is.
Yep.
Yeah, and here this is not a real chest. So here they just faked this wound, this shot wound on that actor, and it looks completely realistic. And they say they have to essentially sculpt a prosthetic that was that big. So this is where the actual prosthetic was in that movie, but here it looks completely realistic.
So just so people know who are listening, I did a video on this before, and it was showing like these big packs for the air, squirting it out and that kind of stuff, and the squiblos and everything else. He's showing here that they have significantly more sophisticated ways of making these prosthetics that can squirt out blood and simulate, gunshot wounds and things like that.
Yeah, and very importantly, now here there are no tubes in that prosthetic, but we can see now, I think in the clip, or yeah, that I can just maybe check, unless I've actually uploaded it, we can watch it with. No, it's not uploaded. I could now. Should I upload it? Can I upload it somehow? No. Yeah, no. I'm going to let it run without sound. I mean, you can watch this on the YouTube. And here is a prosthetic for where they insert these tubes. They insert it into such a prosthetic. And
so see, yeah, so they're inserting the tube into that fake skin, that piece, and then they can pump as much as they need to through there. And theoretically, I mean, he could have the blood pack or something down his pants. I mean, it could be anywhere.
Yes. So here they have a test run with water. And here they have an air pump. This is a garden sprayer that they just use here. And this is how they make the blood flow out. And this is just a prosthetic on a whiteboard, essentially. And now they're cutting out little holes into that tube to create a different effect. And they also insert it into that prosthetic.
So, guys, we have a question. How did you, so someone's saying they don't believe the bullet trunk thing. How did you come to the conclusion that the bullet hit the trunk and it didn't hit Charlie?
Yeah, you don't believe it. This is classical physics. This is completely classical physics. Or this is completely simple physics. So I can, everything you need is the time gap, the Craig stump gap that we have from Audacity. I guess you have seen that. And then you need the distances. And the distances is what I determined this way. So I just modeled these shot cones for shot velocities. And then I just put them there on a screenshot of Google Maps. And yeah, I have all the camera positions. Then I make that intersect the cone with the camera, for example, here for Bartholomew. And then I know the distance and I remember this point here. Then I go to Google Maps and then I just measure the distance from the sniper to that spot that I remembered here, to all these spots that I remember. And this is how I get the values in this Excel sheet. And that's why I can say with 100% certainty, this is how it happened. So I know many of you maybe have watched Audio Freak saying that it is a big problem if the observer, that means the person with the smartphone, is not in line with the sniper and the target. Yeah, if he's standing somewhere out here on the side, that this is a big problem in the opinion of Audio Freak, but it's not a problem. Everything you have to do is you have to create these cones, you have to make them intersect, and then you get these distances, and then you can precisely say where the shot went into. And I mean, this is really simple physics. This is like just velocity, time, and distance. So if you drive 100 miles per hour, and if you drive 1 hour, after 1 hour, you know that you have driven 100 miles. So really simple. And this is classical physics. So there
Now,
is...
just so people, because there's some new people
Yeah.
that are in here, right? So we have like 1,400 people watching. Can you again
Wow.
tell people what you do? To why you can be so certain of these numbers?
Yeah, I can show the Audacity clip again.
Yeah, but
So first off,
yes,
yeah,
but you're
I go to
you're a
this
physicist,
archive
correct?
page here. I think that people have understood where I got the video clips from. So I take the video clips, then I extract the audio in Audacity, then I determine the crack thump gap, and then I determine the distances with the Inkscape that I just showed with these cones there on that map. This is everything I do essentially. So, and I am a physicist. Yeah, I am a theoretical physicist. So you can, on my channel, I can quickly show my channel. I have made videos on Veritasium. So essentially, if you want to get an idea of who I am maybe a person like Smarter Every Day or like Veritasium, like Derek from Veritasium. I'm a science YouTuber. I'm a physicist. So I have a master's degree in engineering. And later on, I worked in theoretical physics for 10 years. I have even solved a problem in theoretical physics that was unsolved until that date. And I have also solved the problem of free will, how humans can have free will. And this is more or less the topic of my channel. And yeah, I tried to grow an audience with first off with videos on Veritasium, where I debunked him a little, with videos on Sabine Hossenfelder, on free will. And then, yeah, later on, I started making videos on Trump because I found out what the surname of that family was. It was not Strumpf, it was Sulzer. Most of you know this from John Oliver, but I looked into the birth registry of their hometown in Germany, and I found out that it was, yeah, Sulzer, not Drumpf. And the joke is that Sulzer in German means something like swamper. And you know his slogan, drain the swamp. And yeah, this video had 124,000 views. And then I had a huge US American audience, and I thought, okay, that audience might like videos on US American politics. So I started doing other videos like here, what caused the Trump's late win in the US election, 24, or here. And then I started making videos on the Butler assassination. And yeah, here I also debunked the Butler staging as well. But I don't know if this confuses people now because we have 2 assassination attempts. But I can also show you what I found at Butler, and I have that uploaded. So
Yeah, let me see if I can add that here. That is crazy loud in my ear. I hope that's
loud.
not.
Okay.
I apologize. I apologize to everyone listening if that was really loud. That like blew out my headphones.
Yeah, sorry, people. Yeah, the joke is that you can actually only hear it with headphones, so then it's a real problem when it's so loud. Because
Yeah.
I would have said, okay, please put on your headphones so that you can hear it best. But yeah, this is what the agents and Trump actually said on the podium at Butler. And the person that recorded this was a MAGA celebrity. It was this brick suit person. It was Blake. I think his name is Blake Marnell.
Let's
This
do
guy here,
just real quick. Let's
this
make
guy
sure
recorded it. Yeah.
Yeah, real quick. Let's just make sure we finish up your theory. So
Yeah,
because
so that people don't.
I don't want to
Yeah.
confuse everyone. So we have a couple other questions. So how do you explain the neck wound?
It was a prosthetic. It was a prosthetic that essentially they had a couple of tubes in the prosthetic, and they had a fake blood tube in the prosthetic. So they had an air puff tube under his shirt that made the shirt shoot up. And most of you know that before the shirt shot up, there was no wound here. So this is already a bit of a problem, because we should see a wound before the shirt shoots up to have reasonable cause and effect. And then when it goes down, we see the wound. And this is a special effects thing. So they have experts from special effects, and this was an operation by US intelligence. So this was all planned. They wanted to do it that way. They wanted to create exactly that effect at exactly that point in time. And they synced that, that fake blood that came out also in a continuous blood flow, which is also in conflict with a carotid artery being hit, as Harpole once again confirmed in the interview lately. And they had it all planned. So they had him, they had Charles Kirk completely equipped with a prosthetic where there was a tube for fake blood and there was another tube for an air puff, and it was all hidden under a prosthetic that looked similar to his chest under his shirt. It was a US intelligence operations. That's what it was.
A lot of people are asking about the cavitation. The cavitation, that's what he was just explaining. So the neck wound and the cavitation of the neck, the blood coming out and everything was all part of the prosthetic.
The cavitation, it was an air puff, essentially. There was no cavitation. The problem is with cavitation, I don't know if you can run a clip of a cavitation in ballistics gel or something, but with cavitation, we have the same problem that the cavitation follows the bullet. So you would only have a cavitation behind the bullet. And this would require that the bullet would have needed to exit his body. And I know it was Chris Martenson who brought forward this theory of a cavitation, but this was linked to Chris Martenson also proposing that the shot was fired very close to the left of Kirk on some roof. And well, we later found out very good. Yeah, this one. And we can see that the cavitation is trailing the bullet. So there's no cavitation in front of the bullet. So there was no cavitation. If we want to have a cavitation, then the bullet would have needed to exit his body. It was just an air puff.
So is that how you would also explain the shirt puffing out?
Yes, there was a tube hidden under the prosthetic, and it was also no pendant. I don't know if you want to go into this now of Caliculul, the email. I think I made screenshots also. Where is it? Here.
So we have a question. Even if they could pull it off, why would they want to? Why would they want to fake Charlie's death? What would be the benefit?
Yeah, the benefit. It was more or less this video that I just tried to show you. So this video with the agents of Donald Trump, with the voices of the agents and Donald Trump on the stage at Butler, that clearly shows that this was also a US intelligence operation that all the agents knew about, and Donald Trump knew about, and even the photographers knew about. And this is a big problem because there a spectator died. Yeah, it was Corey Comparatori. They shot him into the head, and 2 others were severely wounded. There was David Dudge and James Copenhaver. And it's very obvious that if this video had gone viral or had grown attention or had gotten bigger attention, then Donald Trump's presidency would have been over. Because he is connected, or he knew about the murder of Corey Comparator. He was maybe the instigator of it. He was he benefited from it. And this is murder. Yeah, this would have been a huge problem. And this video was posted September 1st. Should I address this comment here or no?
Yeah, let me.
No. This is the main reason. There were many reasons why they pulled it off. So this was the first thing. So they really wanted to hide that Butler debunking. You can see that they wanted to cover, I would say, also the same search terms in search engines. Yeah, you have assassination in the beginning or the first hours when he was not dead. We also have have attempted assassination, then we have attempted assassination fake, and all of these search terms. And Donald Trump even had the flag lowered in honor of Charlie Kirk. And then you also have the search term flag lowered covered. And you need to realize that all the search terms that before the Kirk shooting, all these search terms led to the shooting at Butler. Now all these search terms lead to the shooting of Charlie Kirk, even flag lowered. So if you type in flag lowered, you don't get any video on Butler anymore with Donald Trump. No, you get the video on YouTube, for example. It gives you suggestions that report the flag lowering because of Charlie Kirk or in honor of Charlie Kirk. This was the main reason.
So let's just summarize your whole theory because there's a lot of people in here. So for anyone that's new or anyone that said, one woman said she was lost. Okay, so this is the theory. So you still haven't talked about where you think the shooter was, but there's a shooter, and maybe they're up on one of the buildings, maybe they're in the audience. The trunk opens about the time they're going to shoot. They shoot into the trunk, so there is a shot recorded on audio, an actual shot. And then the trunk closes. That hides the evidence of them shooting into the trunk. At the same time, there's a prosthetic that is set off on Charlie, and that has the blood that squirts out, that has the cavitation or the wind blowing the pressure inside of it, and it looks very natural based on what we saw earlier. If you didn't see that, you can go back in the stream, and you can see how realistic this stuff looks nowadays. And then I guess and then you say, bad acting. You say that like his arm going up with the mic in his hand and things and his eyes closing aren't natural parts of someone who is in a lot of pain or someone that just got shot. And then you have how everyone's acting around him and how they've been acting since. So I guess the real question I have for you personally is, where do you think the shot came from? Even the shot that hit the trunk, where do you think that came from? Do you think Tyler Robinson did it?
I know 100% sure that the shot was fired at that sniper's nest, 140 yards out. This is where it came from. 100% certainty. No other place.
Okay, so that's Tyler Robinson's location, according to the FBI, right?
Yeah, we don't know if Tyler Robinson was on that roof. So this is why I'm careful. It might have, in my opinion, it's more likely that it was a sniper from US intelligence. I don't see why Tyler Robinson would work together with US intelligence. I mean, people, we have to see one thing here. Most of you have seen that there were drones there. They were found very early after the shooting. They were found by Jason Goodman and John Cullen. And these drones are definitely from an intelligence agency. I hope most of you have watched these videos, and there is no doubt that US intelligence was involved there. No doubt. And I mean, we can, with this recent Brian Harpole interview, I think this is really gaslighting at a level that is unbearable now, that Brian Harpole wants to make people believe that they somehow didn't have drones to cover that roof, or there was problems with communication with the local police or something, because we even have a photo that also, I hope I have that. Is it this photo here?
Okay, we have a super chat.
Very early on, yeah. Oh, great.
Yep.
Very
so
happy.
It says, what if audio was a flashbang, like an actual flashbang charge? No vid of roof shot. Does that make sense?
A flash.
Would that be possible with your theory?
What is a flashbang? Now it was a completely regular standard shot. It was the most standard thing. Now I noticed this might sound a bit hard. That I want to keep people from overthinking this. And then there's so many gun experts and gun enthusiasts on the YouTube who think, was it something special? It was the complete standard thing. I don't really know what flashbang should be. Maybe you mean that this was some kind of echo or
it's like, think of it as a grenade that lets out a flash of light and a loud sound. That's basically what it is.
I don't see any indication of that.
Okay.
It was what the physics, the audio tracks say. It was a complete standard shot with an impact velocity of 2,500 feet per second into the trunk, and the initial velocity was 10% higher, which is completely standard for gunshots. And it's just completely, it's completely standard. And I know it's completely unspectacular, but this is what they do. And I mean, listen, I want to give you a bit of a different perspective on it. It is not easy pulling these. What I actually wanted to on the drone here with Brian Harpole, that we even, I think this is a drone by TPUSA. Even this is just a screenshot of a video by John Cullen and Jason Goodman, and they said it was a drone by TPUSA. So Brian Harpole did have access to drones, right?
So
and
I
I
just
don't
did a video.
understand.
Yeah, I just did a video on that today. For anyone that hasn't seen it yet, I just did a video. Someone sent me the actual policy at UVU, and it clearly states that if you request with enough, with enough time ahead, which theoretically would be like maybe a week, if you give at least like a week, 4 to 7 days, you can get permission to fly a drone there. And I clearly show the policy and I talk about it, and I, pull his pieces from the interview and kind of tie them together. But long story short, they could have brought their own drones for sure.
Yeah, they had their own drones. I mean, this was a TPUSA drone, and Cullen and Goodman, I think, said it was something for marketing or whatever, and but they showed this is the photo of a drone by TPUSA. This was very early after the shooting. Yeah, people maybe have already forgotten, but yeah, no, we haven't. Yeah, Laurie believes us. Yeah, thank you, Laurie. Yeah, I hope I can make the theory very clear. And yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, I also am on X and so on, and I know that people love to speculate. And did Charlie have some kind of exotic death, like, for example, like some kind of James Bond death, right? In the 60s when Goldfinger tried to cut him in half with a laser or something. But I think we should really stop this now, because we have these calculations from classical physics, and everything says it was a completely standard shot, the most standard shot that you can make from that sniper's nest into that trunk. And we can calculate it to a precision that we can completely rule out a shot at Kirk that was just 4.5 meters next to him. And we should really concentrate on what actually happened and concentrate on these classical physics, and maybe stop overthinking everything, because Tyler Robinson is facing a death penalty.
All right, so now this question here, and there's a lot of this question. Why would Charlie want to fake his own death? It's still not clear on what's the upside to this.
Yeah, this is maybe there are several reasons. I mean, I this is kind of hard, that I also have to crush people's opinion about Charles Kirk a bit. But Charles Kirk essentially was a severe criminal in terms of financial fraud. I mean, there's also a podcast I do recommend it. Didi got a podcast with an expert called Brian, and he audited TPUSA. And this expert Brian showed us so many irregularities, and this expert is very cautious and always saying, yeah, it's unethical, and he doesn't know if it's illegal. Well, I can be a bit more outspoken. I can tell you there are very strict rules. And what they did at TPUSA is severe financial fraud. And under normal circumstances, Charles Kirk would be in jail for these crimes. I don't know why no one has looked into it from the IRS. I guess Brian, the auditor, also doesn't know, but just the fact that in these tax forms, for example, they have what Brian calls a word salad, and there's they don't even mention this Christian orientation, and this alone is misappropriation, right? This is, in no country can you do that you can just say, oh, I make some kind of non-profit and it has a completely different direction. I don't know if you can help me here. I think they say something like, government awareness, or what is business awareness, or what isn't the policy? I don't even know.
It's basically to train students on how to resist the government and become capitalists. It has nothing to do with faith.
How to become capitalist. Yeah, this is in an official tax form, but
this TPUSA is essentially what they write in the forum is completely different from how they present themselves in the public. And this is already misappropriation. I imagine where this leads to. If everyone just says, okay, I make a nonprofit saying something about business and how to become capitalists, but then they knock on people's door and say, okay, can you donate for the Christian belief or for something, for a Christian purpose? This is fraud. This is misappropriation. And you really have to understand the amounts of money that they gathered. I mean, this is severe financial fraud. So Charles Kirk had a huge motivation to fake his own death. And
So now let me ask you this, just playing devil's advocate. So I understand you're saying that based on that DD Got a Podcast, which I know some of the stuff that gentleman said has already been redacted, it's already been pulled back. He's already corrected himself. But there are some things that are still in place, such as salaries from multiple companies. Was it 8 million? At least 8 million, 5 to 8 million that's missing still. And then a company that overnight has like 20 or 40 employees that was never existent before. There's still some strange things, right? And then filing 3 of the 4 companies late, which has never happened in their past history, the 990 form. So devil's advocate, what if Charlie getting ready to audit and have the Doge type audit, what if he became aware of it and was doing the right thing and he wasn't part of it and they took him out because of that? What's your opinion there?
Yeah, no. I mean, he's the CEO of this nonprofit, and this went on for so many years, and he's the leader of it. I mean, he gave the directives. He built this entire nonprofit, if you want to call it that way. But there is, I know people have maybe some kind of almost religious relation to him, and they see some kind of religious leader in Charles Kirk, but no way. He was the culprit. He was the responsible. He had the authority in that organization. I mean, he's the kingpin there. It is a bit strange to me to think that he was the victim, and in the last moments, he tried to make a Doge audit and prevent everything and make everything correct again. No, he was the kingpin. And there's something else that I maybe this might also be hearsay, but with this split dollar life insurance, I think is the term, and that there is maybe some hearsay that this daughter company, or what do you call it? This got dissolved 2 days before that assassination attempt. Have you heard that?
Are you talking about the shell companies?
Yeah, one of the shell companies that it got dissolved 2 days before this. Yeah, where they faked his death, and that they now have problems getting that life insurance sum, which again is huge. This is $24 million. And I can again tell you, this is, if they pay out this life insurance sum to Erica Kirk, $24 million, then this is also the biggest life insurance fraud. Most likely, I wouldn't know of anyone bigger in US American history. And the entire sum the annual sum that they paid, $350,000 for a life insurance for a person, which would then, lead to a sum of $24 million payback for Erica Kirk. This $350K each year. That's just a ridiculous number.
Well, it's strange too that they basically got a loan for their insurance policy for their personal selves through TPUSA. That's also strange. Okay, so just real quick. So just real quick, I want to address this. So we have someone saying, come on, TriggerSmart, this guy's a wackadoo, making your page seem crazy. Now, first of all, be respectful. Obviously, you'll get kicked or banned if you're being disrespectful. I get what you're saying. All of these theories have their individual little pieces. So the reason why we're allowing this kind of stuff is because some pieces of this make sense if you actually sit back and think about it. Now, as fantastical as some pieces may be, you still have to take it all in, right? So we're never going to know 100% exactly what happened. But this theory was interesting, so I thought I'd give him space to talk about it. So let's make sure we're being respectful, though.
No, I understand that people, if they see a leader in Charles Kirk, and I mean, this is, I agree here with what Brian says in the DD Got a Podcast. People sometimes say Charles Kirk challenged the establishment. And this Brian says, yeah, well, if he was such a threat to the establishment, then why did they push him so hard? Why did they invite him to speak everywhere? And why did they give him all the views on the YouTube? Why did they make him so big on these social media platforms if he really was such a big threat to the establishment? And I think what people need to understand is that people with a lot of money, maybe billionaires, or they have trouble what to do with their money, where to invest their money. And some of them apparently have found out that you can just build social media personalities, and they invest money in social media personalities. And I think this is what happened with Charles Kirk. And I think I agree a lot with Brian, the auditor here. I'm even elaborating on his argument here. So I think Charles Kirk was a social media creation, and what happened at TPUSA for real was completely different than what he presented. TPUSA was an organization for financial fraud. I agree, or I am more outspoken than Brian, the auditor here, but with exactly the same arguments, but I'm just more outspoken.
Now, a lot of people say that Charlie started TPUSA, but if I remember correctly, wasn't there a billionaire or a millionaire approached him because they liked him and they kind of fronted the money and stuff for it? I don't remember exactly what the story is, but I don't think it was him that actually started it officially.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of problems with the hospital. I mean, first of all, that a doctor says something like bones of steel, which is, I don't know, does this doctor want to make a fool of himself? No person has bones of steel. So this is the first thing. Then we have an autopsy report that is forged now. And
have you actually seen the report yet? I haven't seen one. I haven't seen one.
No, they're never going to disclose it. They don't have any obligation to ever disclose it. But I know the person before called me whack, but listen, classical physics is the absolute opposite of any craziness, because Einstein's definition of craziness is to repeat the same experiment, but to expect a different outcome. And in classical physics, we repeat an experiment and we always expect the same outcome. So classical physics is the opposite of craziness, and it's the opposite of being whack. Classical physics, Newtonian physics, is 100% reproducible. It always leads to the same results. And I know this is maybe a bit hard to understand in this day and age, where you have physicists on YouTube constantly talking about quantum physics and how random everything can be, and everything's dominated by randomness. Classical physics in our world, in our real world, this is 100% certain. You need to realize one thing: until this entire quantum physics came up, or well, let's say maybe also statistical physics. So let's say until the year 1860, it was a reasonable thought to think that the entire world is something like a machine, because everything can be calculated with 100% certainty in classical physics. So this is a physics concept. There also was a philosopher called Laplace from France who created the Laplace demon. And this essentially says that you can calculate everything. If you know the initial conditions, you can calculate the outcome. And this bullet flight is an event in classical physics, and it's the physics is so easy, the math is so easy. And I want to say one thing here: we have these experts that you also had Audio Freak on. There's another expert called Matt Kester, and I can explain, I can walk these people through. I think they have a huge interest in understanding what actually happened, how you can calculate it, and I can offer them to just walk them through, and they will see the calculation is totally easy once you know how it's done. And that's everything.
Maybe we can have a follow-up show with you and Audio Freak.
For a follow-up show with them, of course. And what I also want to, just that I don't forget it, there's a lot of gun enthusiasts I found out in this discussion. These discussions are fans of Smarter Every Day. This is also a very popular physics YouTuber, so I can also offer to explain it to Destin Sandler from Smarter Every Day, or to Derek from Veritasium, or to whoever physics YouTuber you want me to explain this to. And they will confirm that these calculations are totally easy. And I know that they're not going to touch this. They're going to say, "Oh no, I have a successful channel, and I might get in trouble if I ever touch this." But if you find a successful physics YouTuber or a popular of your liking, and that I should explain this to, I can explain it to them, no problem. I can offer this. And I'm so sure of what I say, I can even offer to, that we somehow get Tyler Robinson out of jail here. This is actually my motivation, because it's so 100% sure. The stuff, the calculations that I have here, this is court-ready material. This is what you can use in court, and what experts in court use. This is a ballistic analysis, and this can get Tyler Robinson free. And this is the opposite of whack, or the opposite of craziness. This is completely unspectacular classical physics. Yeah, I mean, it's unspectacular. It's a complete standard shot from the roof into the trunk, and we have the proof with these audio tracks from the smartphone.
All right, so we have a super chat here. No stranger than any other theory from Elizabeth Matheson. More plausible than any official story for sure. Now, there's a question. Charlie Kirk maybe was told that his family would be unalived. What do you think about that? Do you think there was a threat to his family, threat to him? Do you think
that there is no threat to his family. Charles Kirk is still alive, and I don't know. I am dispassionate about Charles Kirk. I am dispassionate about politics. I can only say what I read on X, and there are people that question, was this even a real marriage, and are their children real, or because there are no photos of Jessica Kirk when she's pregnant. And I mean, there's a huge age gap between, she's 5 years older. Okay, I know you will always find partners that have this huge age gap, but I mean, it is a bit conspicuous. Then there are these children, and you only see the backs of their heads. So are these maybe replaceable actors? And I don't know. We never know. I can only say what I read online. And his family unalived. I mean, there is no threat to his family. Charles Kirk is alive. Erica Kirk is also maybe one of the best protected women right now. His children also. Yeah.
So what about this question here? Possible that the financials were doctored by someone else to ruin Charlie Kirk because he wouldn't do what he was told.
No, I mean, there is a. I mean, Charles Kirk is the CEO, so this means he is liable. And if there is no way he can talk himself out of this. I mean, he owned this nonprofit, and he is the responsible person. It's very simple. And if someone had actually looked into these reports the way Brian, the auditor, has done, then he would be in jail, because he is the responsible person. It's very simple. And no one doctored this. If he signs these reports, then he is responsible in terms of the law. And we also need to understand one thing, that Charles Kirk was, as I've learned, he was not a Christian person when he was younger. When when he was 18, when he was discovered by someone, and he was a business person. He has a business background. So Charles Kirk pretty much knows a lot about business. He knows a lot about taxes, and I have to say that I also have a decent understanding of business and economics. And these fundraiser schemes that they pulled off there, for example, to hide dark money, or I mean, it's not that hard to understand what happens there and how you hide dark money. You don't have to be a complete expert in economics. And I think Charles Kirk definitely had the financial background, the business background, to understand what was going on. And nobody tried to doctor nobody tried to infiltrate like a spy, right? And he somehow made him sign documents that he didn't know about. I mean, Charles Kirk is the registered CEO, or he's the owner of this nonprofit legally, and he is responsible. There's no other way around it. I mean, if he signs these documents, then he's responsible. And let's not forget, Erica Kirk is now the CEO. That I think she was the assistant CEO before, and she also knows everything about what happens in that nonprofit business-wise. Yeah, doesn't she also have a business background? I think she appears very business-wise, and these people know what's going on in their nonprofit.
All right, so we have someone here that says, why don't you publish your report so other people can test your math and then provide the metadata from the recording phones?
Yeah, of course I can do that. I mean, if people are interested in, I would do it. As I said, I can offer to, to walk other people through it, other experts through it, or I can publish it. I mean, it is a very. I mean, essentially, you could also turn this into some kind of program or what. I mean, it is a bit intellectual property of mine. So I don't know if I could always make it open source, or I mean, I can definitely provide all the audio tracks. I can provide this here on YouTube. I can present this here in a YouTube video, and but it was a bit demotivating in the last time because I didn't have a lot of views on the YouTube, and me personally, I thought I wasn't going to make another video on Kirk anymore, because to me the entire topic is a bit boring. I don't live in the USA, and I am not really concerned by US American inner politics so much. And Charles Kirk is a bit too low profile for me. Almost I didn't really notice him before he was actually shot. I never followed him. I guess I saw him once, maybe 10 minutes on a YouTube video, and I thought it was kind of boring phrase mongering, to be honest. He didn't really appeal to me. I thought he was just some low profile US American influencer, some kind of, I don't want to say it, almost like a bit of a religious scammer a bit, or I mean, he did not get me too addicted to his content. Let's just say it like that.
All right, so this is interesting. In your opinion, is there any way to manufacture a sound pattern to mimic a distance and or location?
Yes. There's always audio deepfakes. For example, at the Butler staging last year with Donald Trump, there were audio deepfakes. I debunked that in the video. For example, they made Donald Trump say something different in the live stream. They audio deepfake this voice, and I guess for what Ellie Mercer wants to know is for a shot for distance and location. Of course, you could try to fake it, and I was very surprised that the audio tracks were not doctored. Nobody doctored the audio tracks. I thought they might be audio deepfakes, but they are not, because they're so consistent. I mean, we have like 10 recordings, and also with Adam Bartholomew, this is an original recording. We know that they tried to, or they didn't just try, they actually stopped his camera from recording to the SD card with drones. And what they did here, they didn't try to alter it. They didn't try to live audio deepfake it to make us believe a certain sound pattern that mimics time and location happened. No, what they did with the drones, they tried to stop smartphones and cameras from recording that were in places that, like Bartholomew, that amplified this sound gap. Because Bartholomew's recording on a balcony is so interesting. Maybe I have a video here. Let's just say where I have overlaid that, because it's just in his spot where it becomes completely obvious with the audio track that, here we can see it. It's just in his unique spot, in this very spot where he recorded, that it was this huge sound gap of 6 meters, 20 feet. And that amplified the shot gap even. That was 15 feet or 4.5 meters. I can play that again. So here you can see these two options, and you can see how similar they look, how similar the MAC cones look. And it's just in this spot. And when we calculate these two cones here, we exactly get that in these calculations here. I can show it again. This is up here, this 0.02. And this here, this is essentially, these are, this is where is it? It's in, it's essentially, you just subtract this one here from I think this value here, and then you get this 0.2. So these two cells subtracted, and yeah, so yes, I have back here. I hope I could answer the question before. Yes, I have a YouTube and social media presence. It's this channel here. It's allgeisnewdream. I am also on Blue Sky and on X, but for example, here it's always allgeisnewdream, and all of these on, let's say, Rumble maybe. But on X, I don't know. I guess with this entire Trump-Clinton thing, I guess it's just, this is first for me just the time. I think this was one of my last posts here on X about this. Okay, but I also have a. Okay, I have a bit trouble with the internet connection. I hope you can still hear and see me. Yeah, interesting theory. Thanks for, yeah, you're welcome, Florida FL Patriot Lady. Yeah, I love to share it. I hope it's convincing to you. And I can't hear you anymore.
Yeah, it
Now
looks
I can
like
hear you again.
yeah, it looks like YouTube is kind of messing with the stream here. So
okay. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. That's
I've been kicked off a few times already. So
did they set it on private? Yeah. No.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I have a. You know what I wanted to say? I don't know if this came through. I have a social media presence. I'm on YouTube and also a bit on Blue Sky, and on X. I just stopped posting. Yeah. Because of this entire Bubba incident there, and I thought it was the funniest thing that can ever happen. And I don't know, but maybe I will continue on X as well. I mean, if I have more followers on X, I don't have a lot of followers there. I have below 100, and then it's not a lot of fun. And yeah, there were also people kind of rephrasing my posts. I'm not going to mention any names, but yeah, it's without quoting me. So if you write something on X and someone reads that post and then writes his own post claiming that it was his original finding and he doesn't mention you at all as it happened, then it's a bit demotivating. This is why I also stopped a bit on X. Why are Germans so good at everything? Yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. But you as Americans are also, I mean, we're not good at staging it. I mean, I couldn't think of a similar event in Germany. No, I thank you for the compliment. No, I mean, it's just classical physics. Yeah, I just I put essentially 2 months into it, and I decided to come out very late when all the evidence is out there. And I think now we really reached a point where all recordings are out there, and there cannot be anything new, anything surprising. And I gathered all the information, and I knew. Thank you for all the compliments. Thank you, guys. Yeah, this is a real motivation. Yeah, finally some positive feedback. Yeah, it's a great motivation.
Now I'm not going to talk about it here because I don't want to get shadow banned. But if you get a chance, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, backed by data and backed by science, then go check out his channel and watch the Butler video and watch his video on basically what we just talked about, his theory on what happened to Charlie Kirk. It's very interesting. So we have a question here. Let's see. Well, it's interesting because we have two.
I agree. Candace does not know the truth. Yeah, and Candace, the French government is not trying to kill you. By the way, yeah, they're not trying to kill you. Candace, relax, Candace.
Well, they're saying the French government, right?
The French government. They're not trying to. Have I said something different? No, the French government. It's kind of late here already, and yeah, it's after midnight here. But the French government is not trying to kill Candace.
Love Drag Racing. He does have a channel.
Yeah, I have a channel. It's allgeisnewdream.
Let's see.
Just the way the way you can see here. You should see it now. It's mostly about the free will. Free will is my main topic. I am not a conspiracy theory person, by the way. As I said before, I started these videos on Donald Trump mainly to just grow an audience. That was the main motivation, and I don't really care too much about US American inner politics or politics in general. I am more about the free will. This was my big project. I wanted to make videos last year on free will and debate free will with people like Sabine Horstenfeld or Kurt Teibungel, and this would have been my main target. And yeah, now I have become the professional debunker of stage shootings in US America a bit. But I don't know. Yeah, it's just the way it developed, the way it emerged. But I don't think I want to go on that way. So let's hope there's not going to be another staging that I have to debunk. Yeah, there's another super chat, I think. Okay. Do you want to read it? Or, yeah.
Yep.
That's
I
one for
appreciate
me.
your expertise when it comes to your ballistics analysis, but I'm curious how you're so definite in the opinion that Charlie was in fact a part of a psyop to fake his own death and not alternatively killed.
Yes, we don't have any signature of a second gunshot. So the only we just from anywhere. I mean, we have so many different smartphones from so many different angles, and in these audio tracks from these smartphones, we would need to find some kind of trace of a second shot, because you need to realize that suppressed shots are not 100% silent. A suppressor just reduces the dB value, but they're still very loud. And the shooter, if he had been in the crowd, would have been close to one of these smartphones. And the closer you are to a suppressor, the louder it is. So if you are very close to a suppressed pistol or something, it is still very loud. Yeah, it is maybe, I don't know, the model depends on the model, but over 100 dB. So we would need to see that. And there is no trace of it anywhere. And I think I agree here with Audio Freak, who said the same thing in your podcast. And we don't have any trace of that. And it's, by the way, it's also very, I mean, this would be, again, some kind of exotic death, some kind of, James Bond movie-like death, that you have some two synced shots and they're perfectly synced, and you cannot really do this in reality without leaving any trace anywhere on a smartphone audio track.
So we have another chat. Do you recognize this language?
I think
I don't know what this is, and it won't translate
Norsk is Norwegian. FNs utgang skulle såret synes føre.
I was trying to translate it and it's not working. So
yeah, I think it's a dialect. I think it's a Norwegian dialect. I should be able to. I can speak Norwegian a bit, but what is it? I think it's a Scandinavian language. It's just late at night. I don't.
Yeah. So for anyone watching this, it's like past midnight your time, right?
Like yeah. If she
1 or
can
2 in the
write
morning.
it in English, then yeah, it is past 1. Yeah, definitely past 1 o'clock here in the morning. Skulle såret synes føre. No, this is not standard language, I think.
Yeah,
this is not standard Norwegian. Sorry, I can't. I don't know. Doesn't ring a bell. The standard.
So Linda Gravender, if you want to send us the English version of that, you don't have to do it as a super. I'll look for that comment. Yeah, so that's all the supers. So does anyone else have any major outstanding questions on his theory? And for those who may have just, there's a lot of people still coming in. His theory, we'll do it one more time. Correct me if I'm wrong. So
yeah,
his theory is that there's a shooter on the nest at the 142-yard mark, which is where Tyler Robinson was allegedly there. And then they shot into the trunk, the vehicle that was underneath the underpass, the tunnel that opens the gate and then closes. He's saying that the bullet was shot into something that could handle the ballistics, right? It could handle the impact and the feet pounds that hit. And then that trunk closes. And at the same time, Charlie has something that triggers a prosthetic. And if you want to see the kind of prosthetics that we're talking about, I did a video on this, but he shows some that are significantly more advanced where it looks like basically they reconstruct like a shoulder, and they'll have the wound and blood and stuff squirt out of it, and it looks like a regular person's body. It doesn't look like a big lump. It doesn't have like, you know, the big charges and stuff sticking off. There's no like air pack on the side. So it's extremely advanced. And then that basically answers the cavitation, the shirt going out, and the blood coming out of the neck. And then in addition to that, you have the acting. So there's a few things about Charlie's demeanor when he gets hit, like his eyes closing and his arms lifting up and he's holding the microphone. He's saying that those things wouldn't technically happen if he actually got hit and had all that pain and his body was reacting to a shot. And then you have all the security and everyone around him, the way they're acting off, and like Mikey McCoy kind of casually walking off like nothing's going on. It just all kind of seems like everyone's acting. So that's kind of his theory. And you know, it's very detailed. If you go look at his video on his channel, he breaks it down. He has graphs and charts and animations, and it's very fancy. So definitely go check it out.
So we could maybe try if some clip. Maybe maybe we could try to play a clip. I'd open it in VLC. Maybe this with the.
If you don't explicitly say share audio, it's not going to work.
Okay.
And it might be a Firefox.
Yeah, here we don't have any audio. We don't have any audio anyway. So it's just, I said there are two tubes, no static. So this is tube number 1. It's a fake blood tube. Here you can see an actor. This is a real actor.
Let me make sure I'm sharing the stage properly so they can actually see.
Okay, I'm going to restart it.
There we go.
Okay, so this, first of all, is no deepfake. This is an original photo, and you can already see there is a swelling here where he has his wound later on. So now I'm going to start the video. And I say there were 2 tubes under a prosthetic. So this is the first tube. This is the fake blood tube. Now here you can see a real actor that was prepared for a movie. So this you can almost not see that this is concealed. And here is tube number 2. And this tube number 2 is an air puff tube. So here it has 2 endings, one on the back this is causing what Martensen called a cavitation. So the cavitation starts in the back. Then here, most likely, you have some kind of valve, and then the rest goes into this place here, and it causes the shirts to shoot up here. So we can even say that there was a valve in there. Here you can see how they prepare the tube and how they put it into the prosthetic. And now we have the 2 tubes together. So tube 1 and 2, the air puff tube and the blood tube. This is pretty much where they were. We know where they were. We know that there was a valve here to close the air puff on the back after a short amount of time and then guide the airstream into the front to cause the shirt to shoot up here. And yeah, here we can see the shirt shooting up. And here again, we can see that actor with that prosthetic on the left shoulder. So this part here is not real. This is makeup, essentially. This is concealed. And with an actor, this is an actor for an actual movie, and they faked a gunshot wound like that. And it looks completely realistic, but this actor was never shot by any gun. Yeah. So, and yeah, this is the only way to explain this. So this is, I mean, you just call it a theory, but it is in physical terms, it is not a theory. So I don't know, maybe can I show another clip? Because it is 100% proven. It's classical physics, and it's not a theory. Yeah, is it plastic skin? Yeah, it is plastic skin, definitely. Yeah, I hope, or I guess, yeah, should we play this prosthetic video again? Or, I mean, I have videos prepared here that I can show. And just so that you know, I mean, it's not just me saying it. Here I have a video of Destin Sandlin. Or maybe I think I also have that in StreamYard with the sound. Is he there? Yeah, that I can play now. So please make sure that the sound is not too loud for the people that have headphones. Or you play it. Yeah.
Circles emitting from the front. As we move this thing, watch what happens. Those circles will stack up in the front and they kind of relax in the back. And they expand, right? So that's a normal flight.
That's breaking up pretty bad.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think that's going to work for
it's breaking up.
that one.
But Des Sandlin, for example, people know him on the YouTube, and he agrees on the smart cone and on the formulas, and that you can calculate the angles. So if you have this information, we can perfectly calculate this flight. And it was a complete standard flight. Yep. Please, yeah. Please embed my links. Yeah, I guess now we can embed them.
Yeah, we want to make sure we.
Thank you for all the interest. Thank you, guys. Really motivating. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's any other major outstanding questions.
There's
an easy one for you.
Yeah, why would they assist them? As I said before, please watch just this video here with this thumbnail where it says who and foolproof. Just watch this video, because in this video I show what Trump and the agents on the stage, or should we just let it run again? Should we try, or do you think it's going to break up badly?
No, I wouldn't try running anything else. We're having too many audio problems with that streaming stuff.
Yeah, and just watch this video here. Just watch this video here and watch it with headphones on. Go to my channel, watch it, because there I present what Donald Trump and the agents on the podium at Butler actually said. And everything they care about is coordinating Donald Trump and the photographer Ivan Vucci for the photos. And this is 1 minute after the shot. So at no point in time were they concerned about a second shooter. Everything they cared about as soon as Donald Trump got up, when this audio starts, was only where is Ivan Vucci and how do we now coordinate Donald Trump and Ivan Vucci for these iconic pictures. So I show with that audio, that the Butler assassination in last year was also completely staged. And this video was posted on September 1st. And September 1st, that's 9 days before September 10. And I just have to make sure that my laptop gets enough electricity. Yeah, and this was before September 10. And this is the entire reason, in my opinion, or the main reason why they even made this staged shooting. Of course, there's other reasons. Of course, there's also a psyop. I mean, they also wanted to send a message. It also sends a message, right? And that right-wing politicians are get shot at, right? That they are in danger, or I mean, Donald Trump made a speech very early on, and he said it was left-wing extremists. So this was also a psyop, and let's not forget. I mean, this was also traumatizing for the people there. For example, Hunter Kozak or what, and Hunter Kozak thinks that Charles Kirk was really shot when he discussed with him, and there were also small children in the audience. And I think they also want to make people numb to violence a bit. I mean, it's kind of strange, and I mean this entire death looked very impressive, I would say, because it was all acted. I don't think it would have been that frightening if it had been a real death, if he really had been shot. I don't think we would have seen that much of a blood fountain, and not that the theatrical death, like he died the way a boxer died, like a heroic death. No, he would have just sat there, and I mean, I don't want to paint a picture here, but I don't think it would have looked that frightening. And I think I can remember also Candace Owens once presenting these small children there in that audience, and they traumatized everyone. So I think they want to make people numb to violence somehow.
So what about this question? So what about this question here? Who's providing the audio source? So where do you get your audio from?
From for this Butler staging. This is by this guy here. This guy recorded it in the front row. His name is Bricksuit Blake Manel. He provided the audio track for this video, and for the Kirk shooting, it's just from this page here, from this archive page. So I took all of these videos, and I just took the audio tracks from these smartphone videos that you can find here.
So for people that don't know, can you go back to that archive?
Yeah, archive. Yeah, here.
So here, I just want to explain to people what this is. So this is archive.org. This is about the Kirk shooting, and this is a source that many people are using. Many different YouTube channels are using this to have high definition images and video and audio. So a lot of people are working from this directory.
Yeah. So if you click on this link, I can show you this because there is no blood. This is long before the shot. So here you have that perspective, for example. So I'm going to close that again. Or if you, well, where is it? Just this archive.
We have to make sure we're not
Yeah. So
showing
if
the
you go
actual
for another
blood.
one, what?
We have to make sure we're not
For
showing the
this-
actual blood from the archives.
No. Yes. This Bartholomew is also long before the shot, and you can so where he is on that balcony here, right, with this guy here. Yeah, and this you can find all of these smartphone videos here on this archive site. So it's archive.org/download/Kirk shooting. Hope you can read that here. And yeah.
Okay, so back from Linda Gravender, she had that that language that we didn't know earlier. This is her question.
Oh, if there was no exit wound, then the neck wound would have come before the cavitation. Okay, it's later that if there was no exit wound, yeah, they say there was no exit wound, then the neck wound. Yes, this is a huge problem. The neck wound come before the cavitation. This is a problem for Chris Mortensen. Yes, you're very right, and we saw it with the ballistics gel before because the cavitation is trailing the bullet. The neck wound would come before the cavitation. Yeah, definitely. So this makes Chris Mortensen's argumentation collapse. Thank you. Yeah. I hope it's really nice to read that people believe in classical physics, and people believe it because this is the ultimate truth. I mean, there's nothing that is more true than classical physics because we can reproduce this to the point of ridiculousness, and it is really the definition of completely down to earth, no nonsense reason, because we make the same experiment and we expect the same result all the time.
So I just want to address this again here real quick. So she's saying, baby girl, I can't believe TriggerSmart lets this dude ruin his credibility like this. So a couple things. So first thing, we listen to alternative ideas. We listen to multiple points of views and different people's different observations of what's going on. And just like Paramount Tactical and Valhalla, they'll have other people on and they get to say their piece. And then we try and pick it apart. We ask questions about it and we make them prove their thesis. We're doing the same thing here. So if you think this would ruin my credibility by letting others have free speech, then we probably don't want you here.
Yeah, and I can only say one thing. I can only appeal to, for example, Chris Mortensen. And I know that there are a lot of conspiracy theorists, if I'm allowed to call them that way, but that are right wing, maybe a bit, that are more lean a bit more towards the MAGA movement, maybe. But I think Dr. Chris Mortensen has maybe also a reputation as a scientist. He has a doctor's degree, and yeah, Dr. Mortensen, I mean, this is classical physics. I mean, there are not a lot of discussions, and I mean, we can discuss that. And I think Dr. Mortensen knows how well established classical physics is, and there is not a big way around this entire conclusion. But I totally understand that we have viewers that have a special relation with Charlie Kirk, and they have a personal relation with Charlie Kirk, and maybe they have trouble wrapping their mind around what actually happened. And I am completely dispassionate about the subject. I only
So
why not? Let's discuss it with Dr. Martinson. Let's discuss it.
I've actually reached out to Dr. Martinson and I have not heard back. So if he would ever, Dr. Martinson, if you're watching this and you want to debate this topic, you're more than welcome to come on the show.
Yeah, let's discuss it. I even have something by Mortensen. I think, do I have? Yeah, with this neck wound that he presented. So this is just a screenshot, and I take this big here. And I mean, Mortensen also says that
I think that this is what he's saying, that the bullet could not have got stuck here because the bullet would have not hit any bone. It just goes through the jugular and here through these nerves. And well, even if it had gone a bit more inside and hit the artery here, the carotid artery, then it also would have just hit a tiny bit of a bone and not the full vortex, and it would have never got stuck here, just never. I mean, this is just meat. This is just flesh. This cannot stop a bullet. Or this is just, how do you say, this is just 4 or 5 inches of meat. How should 4 or 5 inches of meat stop a bullet that is already 1 inch long? Yeah, and I think this is also his argumentation that he said here. So here I agree with Mortensen. Yeah. I'm glad I earned you a new subscriber.
Well, I don't know if that's you or me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have, I don't know why I can't show this, but we have a super chat from Dartboard. And they say, is there any way to apply your knowledge that you have to the Las Vegas shooting?
Oh, yeah, here I know this is John Cullen's topic. I'm sorry, I absolutely don't know what the Las Vegas shooting is about. I think it's about some helicopters, about some shattered glass, and I think maybe also with a cop that was shot, but I don't really know. I would have to work my way into it. But I think Cullen solved this one. But here Cullen is not accurate. I can even say what Cullen's fault was, because John Cullen in his spot. I mean, wait, where do I have this?
So let's see the Las Vegas shooting. I'm looking it up right here.
Yeah, let's stay with Las Vegas, okay?
Mass shooting, 64-year-old opened fire in a crowd, and it sounds like machine gun fire. Over 1,000 rounds, killing 60 people and wounding 413 others.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you looked at that one. That might be a new one for you.
Yeah, and what did Cullen say? Well, I think Cullen solved it, right? Or Cullen somehow doubted it, and then he solved it. Or I think this was by John Cullen somehow. I connected this.
That's not
okay.
You also don't know much about it.
Okay, yeah, no, but this sounds very gory, and I don't know. I have the feeling I somehow have to stop here because by nature I'm absolutely not a conspiracy theory person, and I don't know.
All right, what about this one?
Maybe
Maybe
I'll look into it one day.
We have another super chat.
A flash pod designed for a loud report effect and a 30-aught. Should I read it or?
Go for it. Yep.
And a 30-06 rifle are comparable in sound intensity, with both capable of producing noise levels in the 160 to 180 decibel range.
Now,
a flash
pod. Yeah. I think like a flash bang or something similar. So, but the problem I think with that is there would be one bang. There wouldn't be the second thump of the sound either hitting Charlie Kirk or hitting in his case, in his theory, he's saying it's hitting this thing in the trunk.
I guess I can. I hope I can find it. I can show something or with this overlay again. Where was it that I showed before? That way you can see the crack in the thumb. So where is it? This overlay. So this is the muzzle blast, and this is the sonic crack. So, and they just move forward towards the target, and let's take this observer here. So the crack is the crack intersects with the smartphone of that observer recording this. So this is what we can see in Audacity. So one audio sign in this audio track. And then comes this second one, this muzzle blast. And then it hits that microphone of that observer as well. So this sonic crack here is caused by the supersonic speed of the bullet. And it arrives faster. And this muzzle blast is just the sound of the explosion of the gun. And this arrives later because this travels with the speed of sound. So this travels with, let's say, double or 3 times the speed of sound. And this travels with the speed of sound. So this is 3 times as fast or 2 times as fast or something like that. And this is the normal speed of sound. So we always have these 2 events.
that follow after another. Maybe I can also show you that.
Now this
Oh,
this
there's
is a
an
good
example
question. Why you're
again.
finding that? This is
So
a really
here
good
you
question.
can see, just to show that person again, this is the crack, this is the thumb, and these are just two echoes of the crack that I also explain, or that I show in my video on my channel. So you can always see at least these two events here, and you can see that the thumb looks a bit different. It looks more stretched out, and this is a typical crack. So crack, thumb, and echoes, and these are also echoes. Yeah.
Do you see that question there? Was there a clear line of shot into the trunk?
Was there a clear line of shot? Yes, but it barely missed Brian Harpole. I don't know. Can we? And where is what was the recording again? It was with trunk open. That's where is it? In stream. I think it was recording number 6. I think I have that here. Let it show the trunk opens. Where is it? So this one here. So these two. So yeah, this is the line. Make it a bit bigger. So here we have Turek, and here we have Harpole. Here we have a police officer, and it barely missed Harpole, and it also missed Turek only by a meter, I guess. But Brian Harpole, it missed him, I would say, under 1 foot, or maybe 1 foot. I wanted to say under 1 meter. So we can see here a part of this trunk here. I mean, we can see with our here it's, so there was an open trajectory, but this guy, they barely missed him. And this is Brian Harpole, by the way, and he gave an interview recently, and I think this is also the reason why he trembled, right? You can see in this interview that he gives, when he remembers it, he trembles, and you can also see him that he makes this head movement, because I think this was also traumatic for Brian Harpole. I mean, he must have known that that they were gonna miss him just by a tiny bit. And he even makes this head movement, because I think when he remembers this event for himself, he was just maybe 1 foot away of getting a bullet into his head. So this is why he trembles. But they did have an open line into that trunk, but not by much. Yeah.
Okay, so I have this 3D model. This was made by Pete, QNFEE on YouTube. But this kind of shows what's our line of sight. So this would be the nest. This would be the spot that Tyler's at. And you can see there's a clear line of sight to Charlie. And if you look over here, if you can see that mouse and stuff there, that would be a clear line of sight to that vehicle back there. So it looks like he has a pretty easy shot if you were shooting into that trunk. Now, you have to account for people there, right? You have to account for anyone that's in that area. So these people and people standing around, you would have to definitely shoot between them or over them. But that vehicles would be sitting right in here. So there's a clear line of sight based on the model. And this is all to scale.
Yeah, this is a very good model. I like it. Yeah, it's very good.
And it's fast.
Good
So I got the Paramount Tactical model, and I pulled it up. I used Rhino 3D, and it just crashes your computer. And my computer is a beast. So I like the fact that they made it. And I think it's good they made it, but who can use it? Who can run it?
I mean, Paramount Tactical, he went there with drones, right? And they somehow, he said he has an accuracy of 1 or 2 centimeters. LiDAR, I mean, it would be great if with Paramount Tactical, with Gary Melton, I mean, we can with my calculations, I mean, I can also show them to Gary, and we can really triangulate where these people stood, how they held a smartphone, and we can make this more and more precise. I mean, if we work together, we can almost reenact this entire thing. But it was a shot into the trunk, Gary. I'm sorry, even if you don't want to hear it.
So yeah. So John Murphy, this says wasted time. We ruled out Tyler. This isn't saying that Tyler did the shot. In this theory, it's saying that whoever was in that spot where Tyler supposedly was shot into the trunk. That's what this theory is. So it wouldn't matter if it was Tyler or someone else.
And as I said before, this material that I have is code ready, and I can prove that the murder never happened. So they want to, I think that, just to state an example, maybe on purpose give him a death penalty.
And I mean, we this is a real thing here. This is a real human, and I mean, I'm trying to somehow, as I said before, I can even offer to contact the lawyers of Tyler Robinson, because these calculations that I made here will get him free. Under normal circumstances, Tyler Robinson would need to be acquitted immediately. And I can also invite physics professors from UVU or from any university at Salt Lake City. I can explain it to them, and it's really easy classical physics. And I can also only appeal to their honor as academics, that they have the responsibility to look into it and to get Tyler Robinson free, because he is an innocent person. And I don't know if Tyler Robinson shot into the trunk. I don't think so. I think it was a sniper that is somehow connected to US intelligence or to this security organization that was at this event there with Brian Harpole.
So for this question by Hello Goodbye, has there been any interviews with Tyler Robinson family or friends? The only thing that I have seen so far is the grandmother. And she basically had the typical grandmother sentiment of, he's just a baby boy. He would never hurt anyone. He's an innocent kid. So that's really all we've heard from anyone around him. And his parents and everyone else, as far as I know, are in hiding. And
I think they're in witness protection.
Yeah.
I think they made this. There are rumors that they made him go into witness protection, and now they can't help him anymore. They can't contact him anymore, because this would violate the terms of their witness protection. And they can't also get him a better lawyer, or I don't know. I think he already has decent lawyers, but
So
they can always get him.
What are your thoughts on Lance? A lot of people are saying they think Lance was behind everything and Tyler was a patsy. Without getting into anything LGBTQ, without going into that, what are your thoughts that he has accomplices, possibly his boyfriend?
Yeah, I think Lance Twiggs also disappeared, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there rumors that he also disappeared?
Yes.
It's we don't even know how he turned him in, what led to Tyler Robinson turning himself into the police, or getting captured by the police, or was this even Lance Twiggs? I mean, these are all just rumors. Maybe Lance Twiggs never contacted the police, and also these text messages seem very fake to most people. So we don't really know anything about these two. And what I can say is maybe they were just two gamer dudes that just live together, and this is completely normal for guys in their early 20s that they live together, as in this, similar to a student dorm or whatever. I mean, why they're not just two regular gamer dudes that might even be straight? I mean, who says that they're even gay or whatever? I don't.
Well, they say Lance is Lance Twiggs. They're saying he's transgender and he was on hormone therapy and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it could be, but here we don't really know anything about them. And I also seen some interview by some neighbor who said that he has seen them kissing or whatever. He has seen them talk about. I think I can remember.
The Discord logs.
A neighbor.
Yeah, I think that's the Discord logs. Is where that stuff came from.
Yeah, and there was also some interview on YouTube with some neighbor that said, I've passed them on my bicycle and I've heard them talk about a transgender operation, and I saw them kissing. And because I remember that this was really contradictory, because when you pass by two people on your bicycle, then you cannot hear what they say. But maybe they were kissing. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they're gay. Maybe they're not gay. I don't really care much. But we don't really know anything for sure about these two, I think.
So Linda Gravenger says you have a lot of positive feedback in this chat.
Thank you. And I think these are Swedish krona now. This was Swedish before.
Swedish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because it also had the Swedish letters and not the Norwegian ones. Yeah, I see that now. Pratar vi svenska? Yeah, I should also be able to understand a little Swedish, but I guess it's just too late now. Sorry.
Well, here in the U.S., half the people barely speak English. So, and I don't mean immigrants. I'm talking about people who live here who speak English, barely speak English. All right. So it looks like we're getting kind of to the end of the questions. So is there anything, did you want to share any final information, any final thoughts with people? And then go ahead and do a plug again for your channel.
Yeah, I mean, I think we went through everything that I wanted to say. We had No, I think we essentially went through everything. Yeah, I can once again just tell people that, I mean, I understand it that people want to call this a theory, but again, maybe there are some physicists watching, and just the physicists speaking here, it's not a theory. It is a proof. We have the observation, we have the calculations, and the calculations are very simple. So in strict physics term, this is just irrefutable. It's classical physics. But yeah, I can only reach out to other channels that be as courageous as Matt from TriggerSmart. He gave me the opportunity to present this because Matt is very responsible. I don't think Matt is happy when innocent Tyler Robinson gets sentenced, and he's very courageous. He gave me that opportunity. He knows that I haven't gotten a lot of love from YouTube lately, showing my videos to an audience that I deserve, I think, with the quality that I provide. And I am very willing to share more information about this proof that I have. I am willing to share it on YouTube channels, in podcasts, and with other YouTubers, with Audio Freak, for example, with physics YouTubers.
Or
And
Dr. Chris Martinson. Yeah.
with Chris Martins, of course, with Gary Melton, and with everyone. Yeah, I can also, if you live in Utah or in Salt Lake City, where I think this court trial is, and if you can somehow contact people, I have material that can help Tyler Robinson in court. And this is court ready, essentially. So if you can reach out to these people, I can also offer that, because this, I think, should have first priority now. Yeah, and it's just that I see it now. Where can I find this guy's channel? I have a channel. You can subscribe here. It's called Allgeist New Dream, and you can see all my videos. And yeah, once this entire Kirk affair is over, then I will concentrate a lot on the physics of free will. This was a concept that I wanted to explain for a very long time. And I am not really a conspiracy theory person. I'm not really a gun enthusiast. I'm just my physicist. Well, I even thought that I had put physics a bit behind me. I thought this was a past stage of my life, but I still have some very good physics skills. And yeah, I am very, very sure with all my experience in physics that I can explain this correctly.
All right, we have one last question. This was from an earlier super chat. Bullet velocity varies widely, as we know, depending on distance, wind, grains, powder, manufacturer, etc. The atmospheric temperature is everything, right? The curvature of the Earth. Are you using
and this I would really love if, because of his reach, I can just, as an example, Gary Melton, for example. I saw a video with Gary Melton lately, and he said the same thing. Or I saw also posts of him on X, and we should really stop overthinking this. I mean, we have the shot, we have the initial velocity, we have the average velocity, we have the impact velocity, we have where it was shot from, we have where it was shot to, and all of this is proven by audio observation. And I can only invite Gary Melton. Gary, be a man, and I want to explain this to you, and just let your audience know about this, that they should not overthink this anymore. Yeah, nobody wants to overthink everything. Nobody wants to think about 10,000 possibilities about an exotic death, of a James Bond movie like death with, I don't know, 3 synced gunshots from 3 different angles. No, it was a standard shot, nothing special, completely standard, no variation, complete standard decline of velocity, the typical 10% that is perfectly reflected in the audio tracks. I mean, come on. I mean, we need to get this message out here. The people need to stop overthinking this. There was nothing special about it at all. There was nothing magical happening, nothing. I'm almost sorry to tell people it was so unspectacular, but this is what happened. Det är förlåt i Sverige också. Yeah, this was Swedish, I think. Or I don't know. It should have been Swedish. Yeah, I'm really, I love it, Linda, that you're still watching. It's really late now, yeah, in Europe.
Thanks for sticking with us here. Tyler did not plead guilty at his hearing. Any decent lawyer should be able to get an acquittal. Yes. Anyway, I think Tyler Robinson, if it was normal, well, how should I say this? If the situation in the USA was normal, then he would need to be acquitted. But we must not forget that this happened in a political environment, or it was somehow hyped in as a political event, this entire Kirk shooting. And under normal circumstances, they would just acquit him because they can even connect the bullet to the gun, right? They don't have any bullet. They can connect it to the gun. And I think John Cullen, I discussed it with John Cullen on X, I think. And I think we agreed, or at least I said it, that this is a huge problem for the prosecutors. If you can't connect the bullet to the gun, then you have to acquit the suspect. It's very simple. I mean, they have to prove in some form that the bullet from this gun actually hit Charles Kirk. And if the prosecutors can't prove it, then Tyler Robinson is a free man under normal circumstances. And now we have this additional proof where we can prove that there was never a murder. So he needs to get acquitted. And in normal circumstances, he would need to get acquitted immediately. And yeah, for the people in Utah, really tell your political representatives about that. I hope Life is Driving, Adam Bartholomew. I think he's also a representative for the Republican Party, I think, but I think he's a moderate Republican from what I can remember. Yeah, Adam, if you watch this, I mean, I can also tell you about the theory. I can invite you, and I think you are a politician, and you can get this story out. You can tell your colleagues, your party colleagues there from the Republican Party in Utah, or I don't know, if you have friends in the Democrat Party, or I don't know. I mean, I'm not a political person. I don't tend to either side there, but yeah, I think we should really tell the authorities there to get Tyler Robinson acquitted. This should be our goal now.
So this one here, I think this is just more of a note. 1735 in Bartholomew's video, please take a look. So maybe take that into consideration when you're doing your next one. And then we have this question here from Dominique Coppins. Do you think his security team was in on all of it? Because you watched the Brian Harpole interview. So what are your thoughts on the security team?
Yeah, most of them. It's kind of hard. I cannot say exactly how many people were in on it, but I mean, can we show this photo where they drag him away? Do you have it, or should I? One of them. I mean, you can choose it now, the one you want to show, maybe. But it's just the fact that they dragged him away. And this is another thing that I wanted to say here. So these people state a very bad example, because if you have someone with a neck wound, they was shot in the neck, then you must not pull this guy up and haul him away or drag him away the way they did. Because if a vortex in the vertebra is fractured, then any movement can severely damage the spine. What does this mean? The way they dragged him away, and if he had actually been shot, they would have damaged his spinal cord, and they would have left him, is it paraplegic? So he would have never been able to move his legs again. So I mean, if this had been real, he wouldn't have been able to move his left arm again because of the shot wound. But the way they dragged him here, this would have left him paraplegic. He would have not been able to move his legs anymore, maybe also not his right arm anymore, nothing anymore, just because the way they dragged him away. So if you have a gunshot victim with a shot wound to the head, or any other severe fracturing of the neck, or any other neck wound, then you must wait for the paramedic and put this guy on a stretcher and not move his head. Do not pull and drag such a person. So what they do here, this is one of the worst examples that I've ever seen, and they should really be ashamed of that, for setting that example. I mean, now we have people with, if in other places of America, if there are people that see a gunshot victim with a shot to the neck, and they also try to carry this other gunshot victim away like that, and they're going to severe this person then. I mean, what a bad example is this. And we can also stay at this photo here. They say they put a hand on his wound. Where exactly is that? I mean, we need to realize one thing, that this is his right arm here. Do you see my mouse? Or you can, where you are at, this is his right arm. This is not his left arm. So his face, the face of Charles Kirk is facing towards us here. And the wound is on his left. So who exactly puts the hand there? It's definitely not Brian Harper. Brian Harper said in an interview it was him that did that.
That's a good point. I've never noticed that before.
Yeah, and look where his right hand is. His right hand is also too far behind. And we have this other guy with the black shirt and the sunglasses that also had blood on his hand. And some people say, yeah, it was him who put the hand on the wound, but I don't know. We cannot be sure that he actually puts the hand on the wound there. So, I mean, this is one of the worst examples I've ever seen, to treat a gunshot victim with a wound to the neck. Never carry these people away. Wait for the paramedic with the stretcher and so on. Just like in American football. Yeah, sometimes there are these accidents in American football, right? When people also have neck injuries and they have to wait for the stretchers and so on. And this is so important, because if you make any wrong movement with a fractured vortex, you can cause so much damage, irreparable damage. These nerves don't grow back. Yeah.
We have another super chat. If you are right, doesn't this plan fail because Charlie was not cremated and all is needed to exhumate to exonerate Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, this is a good point. In theory, he got buried. This is what they want to make us believe. So they say there was an autopsy report.
They passed the casket with J.D. Vance.
Yeah, with J.D. Vance. Yeah, also J.D. Vance. This is not credible. Sorry, J.D. You are not telling the truth here. I can show with classical physics that Charlie Kirk never died at all. And I don't know who is in that casket. I think this is some kind of silicone replica, some kind of puppet that looks just like Charlie Kirk, but isn't him. And you cannot take a DNA sample from that puppet, for example. Yeah, he was not cremated. Nobody knows where he's buried. Yeah, there's no gravesite. And
this is just to
with the exhumation. I mean, this is one point. And you could now think, okay, Charles Kirk just got a facial operation and he lives with his, I don't know, lover that he had somewhere on Miami Beach, and he's got all his bills paid for till the rest of his life, and he can just slurp cocktails all day. But the one point is that maybe what they can do now, that Charles Kirk is not out of danger, because what they can do now is they can start thinking like Dominique, and they can think, wait a second, shouldn't we play safe and maybe kill Charles Kirk now, right? I mean, we can just operate his face back a bit, or maybe, I mean, in the casket, it would start to rot anyway. And then, so we just kill him now with the exact same wound. So when he's sitting somewhere and they shoot him in the exact same way, maybe with a very slow bullet to also prevent the exit wound.
So I think Robert Gray...
just to put his dead corpse in the casket. That's what I wanted to say, the point that I wanted to make.
Yeah. So Robert Gray, I believe the spelling is wrong. It's supposed to be Algeist.
Yeah, it's Allgeist, just like Geist. Yeah, it's the German word for spirit. Yeah.
Yep.
Algeist. And then New Dream. Yeah.
Now, this picture here is just to show that there was, in fact, drone footage that day.
Yeah.
So this is obviously a drone shot. I don't know anyone this tall who can hold a camera. So, and this is way taller than the buildings. So in this case, unless a bird is flying by holding a Nikon, we can pretty safely say that this is a drone.
Yeah. And back in the video, they said it was a TPUSA drone. So, and I think they, for some medical cover, for media coverage, for press coverage. So they wanted to make photos, or for some YouTube trailer of that event or whatever, and they had the drones for that, for their media people, or that covered that event.
Let's see.
This is what they said in that Goodman Cullen podcast where they presented that photo.
All right, let's see. Dirty Girl, I see your chat messages for me to look up. Okay, I'll look at that 1735 in that video. And then there was one we missed that I can't find. I can't pull it up. I don't know why, but I'll read it to you. So look at Dr. Chris Martinson's black dashing line. I assume this is in his, his slideshow.
This one.
They're basically saying it lines up perfectly with the left camera rig. This is James Bond. So basically, they're thinking that the shot came from the left camera rig. What are your thoughts on that? The shot coming from
the close that is close in the tent. The one is very close. He wants to say, yeah. This is the one you're referring to. It's just 2 meters away from Kirk to the left.
Yep, the girl. I think the girl was in front of that one.
Yeah, no, this is. There's a 0% chance that this is true. This is false. I'm truly sorry because the audio signatures just don't give any sign of that. And we have already the perfect shot from that roof. There was only one shot. There was no second shot. And this is, I know it's kind of exciting to think that it was a James Bond-like death and it was a gun hidden in a camera and so on. But I mean, even such a shot from a camera would make some kind of sound. And there were people very close. I think the camera recordings 1 and 13 on this archive page, they were very close. And they would have recorded something like that. But they didn't.
And that would also change the distance between the crack and the thump. That would change the whole audio algorithm. So so it would be very obvious if it was much closer. And I know actually it's interesting because Audio Freak said in his analysis, he's not done yet, by the way, he's still working on it, but he did say that in his analysis, he thought it was within 50 meters.
This what I wanted to show before, this is the exact same. Yeah, here it is.
Hold on, let me add that to the stage here.
So I can essentially tell you where their mistake is. And they all make the same mistake, including Cullen and Audio Freak. So you see where this spot is here. This is the spot that John Cullen calculated. But what did John Cullen actually calculate? John Cullen calculated where the thumb is, the thumb audio signal at the moment when this crack signal hits that smartphone. This is what he calculated. So here you can see, just one more frame. So here, this crack signal intersects with the smartphone, and here's where the thumb signal is. And this is what Cullen calculated. Cullen did not take into account that this sound signal traveled before that. And I think Audio Freak makes the same mistake. They all make the same mistake. Anyone who calculates a shorter distance, this is your error here. Please get this story out because we should not waste any more time on these short range shots, stories. Please take this into account. This is your error that you make. You are not calculating where the shooter was. You are calculating where the thumb was at the moment the crack intersected with the smartphone of this observer here. This is what you calculate. This is why all your calculations are not accurate. And if you work out this mistake, then you will see that there was only one location that is possible, and this is the location of the sniper's nest. So this is what it boils down to now. But what it boils down for you, then there's only two options. Was the shot fired at Kirk or into the trunk? And if you do your calculations correctly, you will come to the exact same conclusion like me, that there is a 100% chance that it went into the trunk and a 0% chance that the shot was fired at Kirk. Yeah, I hope I could help Audio Freak and John Cullen and many others, and including Chris Martinson, because maybe Chris Martinson thought the shooter was somewhere here, or yeah, Chris, this is also your mistake. You just calculated it wrongly. This is what you calculated. You calculate where the thumb is at the moment the crack intersects with the microphone in the smartphone of the observer. Yeah.
So I think we may have just found you a new wife or a girlfriend if you don't have one.
I'm very flattered. The first time I read that, I will remember this forever, Marisa. No one ever asked me to marry her on YouTube.
Yeah, so this
Marisa
one
Cruz.
here, the life insurance policy, the 2022.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's different than the 2023, but it's, I mean, $350,000 premium. You're looking at, tens of millions of dollars. So it's beefy.
Yeah, they Brian, the auditor, said they started it in 23, and before that they had none, and then it was extremely high, 350K, and I think the sum has been confirmed to the payout sum to 24 million. And now there are rumors that they had somehow canceled this, or that they had dissolved this LLC that was in charge of this life insurance. And the question is, of course, why did they do that? Did they know that he was gonna, fake his death to avoid maybe a very long sentence in prison? Because life insurance fraud at that magnitude, 24 billion, that is, 30 years in prison, I would say. And maybe they did that to just avoid that. Why did they do that? Or maybe it's not true. This is all just a rumor. Maybe they didn't dissolve the LLC. And maybe Erica Kirk really gets these 24 millions. But then it's one of the largest life insurance frauds in US American history. So reach out to the life insurance company. Who knows? I guess they're very interested in not paying out these 24 million. There's a huge sum that they can save. And quite frankly, Erica Kirk, if you watch this, I would strongly recommend you just not take these 24, or that you somehow reject them, because you will spend a very long time in jail if you accept that sum of money. I mean, the political situation will change one day in the USA. It will not stay like this forever. And one day, and an investigator will look into it that is dispassionate about any politics, that only looks at the objective facts the way I do, and the way the facts are presented to me, that were presented to me by Brian, the auditor. I can be more outspoken than him. I know that these are very long sentences in jail for all the people involved at TPUSA, including Erica Kirk and also the CEO, former CEO, Charlie Kirk.
So Red Starlet says, please say I'm happy and not suicidal.
Me, yeah, well, I am. I'm kind of sleepy. I'm very happy.
And then we have
I'm
some
not
more
suicidal. I know what she said. That she said that they're gonna kill me now, and they're gonna pretend it was suicide. No. I think I'm not suicidal. I'm not gonna kill myself. Matt, if they kill me, then you will get the story out that I'm not suicidal, and I'm very happy. I want to live very long. I'm a longevity athlete, by the way. Yeah. So this is it's like Brian Johnson, very similar. I will live very long. I have very good health, and when people meet me in reality, they're always very surprised how young I appear. So I'm definitely not suicidal. I want to live a very long life.
So Ryan James Duffy, Bros provided zero evidence. So again, I say go over to his channel and watch his video. We've been having some audio issues, and he was trying to show parts that we can't show because the audio is not going through for some reason from Firefox on his end. But if you go to his video on his channel talking about this very specific thing, then it gets very extremely detailed and has evidence and has all the charts and graphs and animations and everything else. So go check that out.
Yeah, I mean the zero evidence. Once again, I can only say this is based on the audio tracks of all the smartphones, smartphone recordings on this side here, and there cannot be more evidence. So everything is very consistent. And I don't know. He could maybe, if he could have given an example of what he thinks is not complete in the evidence, but I think my evidence is very complete. I mean, I do what all the others do. All the other investigators, I investigate the audio tracks of these known smartphone recordings, and then I do the calculations, and the calculations are beyond doubt. And it's a very simple argumentation. I'm a bit sorry that I cannot provide a more exotic explanation, a more spectacular explanation, or if only I could say, oh, there were 3 shooters at once, or it was a flashbang or whatever, but no, it was a complete standard shot, standard velocity by a complete standard rifle. There were people standing in front of the open chunk. Yes, as I explained before, you see that Harpole interview, when he remembers that, his hands tremble when he starts remembering that, and he makes that head movement, because the bullet flew close to Brian Harpole. He was standing in front of that trunk, and it was a scary event for him. Yeah, or you want to show that now, or I think I also have it open where Brian Harpole stood.
Well, yeah, you can get that. Go ahead and start getting that ready on your end. I just want to show this really quick because I saw a few different people like what is it? Like Dally Jacobson saying that he sent me the palm pistol proof. So I've looked at the palm pistol stuff. I've looked at those theories, and I've also looked at the like hand signals and all the stuff, you know. So this video kind of shows that they always do that stuff. His security crew has always done that at all the different events. So it's not really out of the norm. And I just want to show this here really quick.
Yeah, with his affirmative signal. Yeah, it could be that this is his, where he touches his arms and so. Gives him a signal, wants to signal him something, and then this is his sign that he says, I understood it.
Yes, but what I'm saying, yes, but I just want people to watch this and see that this guy back here is doing tons of signals all the time at all the different events, not just that day. This is across multiple years.
Yeah, in my video, I said that it's with this cascade just 10 seconds before the shot. Here it is, and I say that this essentially was a team effort. So here the guy gets an SMS, then he informs him. He reminds him, okay, it's going to take place. It's going to be the decoy shot 1.5 minutes before the shot. Then this guy reminds him, okay, you have to pick up that microphone with your left hand. Kirk understands and he changes it, right? And then we have this countdown, and it's Kirk himself who starts it. Kirk himself starts it, right? He's going to grab his nose, and this is the starting signal. It's him that starts it. He knows what's going to happen. He's the main actor. He has to pull it off. And then we have Turek tipping his ear and his cap. The trunk opens, and this guy then gives his affirmative signal. So the count is 7, 6, 5, 4, and then 2, 1. So I can start this again, this countdown. So Kirk starts it. Kirk himself. He's the main actor. When he's ready, then it's going to start. He gives the start signal. He's the most important person now. He has to make it look credible. He has to act such that people believe it. This is why he gives the start signal. No one else. Yeah? And here's the countdown. He tips his nose and cap, ear, trunk opens, affirmative, and into the trunk. Yeah? So this is what happened, in my opinion. I mean, this is something where I can say I don't have 100% proof, where I say I can calculate or that they really did it. And I also say that late in the video that this guy that removed the SD card, he removed it so that this audio track from this camera, it's not about the pictures or the images that this camera recorded. It is about the audio track, because this camera recorded what they said just seconds or minutes before he faked his death. And they want to prevent that this ever gets leaked to the public. And as I said, at Butler, it was leaked to the public, the original audio, what they said on the stage. And everyone can understand that Butler was staged and fake just because of this audio that was leaked. But here at UVU, we saw that there was this guy that just removed the SD card. He stood up on a chair and so on. Yeah, I guess everybody saw these pictures. This is, yeah, there is a very specific reason to prevent what happened at Butler, which was a huge fiasco for US intelligence. this debunking.
All right, looks like questions are slowing down. Looks like you have a few dates you can take away from this. And definitely appreciate having you on. It's always awesome hearing these ideas and these
was a lot of
theories.
fun.
I call it a theory, but you say that it's legit. You say they could use the information in court. And I think you did a pretty good job based on the fact that we were having some audio issues, sharing a few things, kind of getting your point across. And again, if Audio Freak or Chris Martinson or anyone else, if they want to debate you on it, they're more than welcome to come on. And yeah, thanks everyone for joining. This has been a longer one, but it's definitely a good stream, and we definitely appreciate you being a good sport. And we will see everyone.
Thanks, guys. It was great.
We'll see everyone on the next one. Thank you.
Thanks.